Anyways, welcome back to game two of PMALCS LTN versus LTN versus S10. Um, so we're gonna get into pick ban here, and we see the first ban Caitlyn coming in from LTN against uh against Freedom Penguin. Then we see the Ilawi ban from S10, and then
And we're back.
and Membung is back. So we are. I'm just gonna be quiet again.
So, yeah, draft. This is going on right now, and
Jesus.
Caitlyn Morgana bans again. So,
Looking like same bands.
there we go. The Kane ban, which I think was in place of
Warwick.
Warwick last time, but the Aphelios ban coming up from the team who piloted the Aphelios, not wanting to give it over to them as Misfortune first pick, which I tend to really like actually right now. I think Misfortune is also one of those top tier ADCs, but the Ari, with all the assassins up for literally Nate, and he decides to go to Comfort, which is perfectly fine, but blind Ari pick, I guess he doesn't feel like there's anything that he can be punished with, as it looks like, well, you didn't ban one of my junglers last game, I'm going to pick it this time, and it's going to be the Warwick for Neil the Steel over here.
Yeah. Going back to the Ari pick, I think it's fine to blind pick champion that you're super comfortable on. We've seen tons and tons of performances by people who can just pilot a champion so well that it doesn't matter blind picking or not. You just know the matchup. But usually, I would agree with you. You don't just blind pick your mid lane this early unless you have a plan for it. So yeah. We'll see. Could be
also
a plan.
Could be a really weird RADC. Who knows? They do some weird lane swap stuff as the Misfortune ban, Misfortune pick actually, excuse me, does come out for Freedom Penguin. The Ashe going to be the response. Probably going to try to lock in either the bot lane or a jungler that maybe he feels really confident in into the Warwick, as I'm hoping that we see this Misfortune Leona bot lane, which has just been everywhere right now in the LPL and in the collegiate amateur scene right now. As Thresh will be locked in for the Ashe.
Ooh.
I mean, for the side. Do we know decent Thresh?
No, never.
Never. Okay. As the Mordecai is hovered right now, I think this is a huge pick. It's going to be Juiced by Daddy, most likely piloting that. And so they got some pretty decent power picks. You got Comfort for Neil the Steel, Misfortune, really good for Freedom Penguin, and be able to press R right there. And Mordekaiser just presses R and just takes someone out into the Shadow Realm. Not on a really nice date to the Shadow Realm. Not a place you want to be taken to, really.
I would like a date in the Shadow Realm. I would love that.
So going back to the Thresh, I actually know that literally Kamish does enjoy flexing down to support every now and then and does play Thresh. So I'm not so familiar if literally Garrett has been playing Thresh recently. I think so. I after I said that, I realized he definitely has. So mind blank part, and I'm so sorry.
And but this is why, yeah, it's all good.
Anyway.
Yeah. The Akali and the Jace being focused at literally Kamish just in case he still is in that top lane, because there is a chance he can go down there into the bot lane, as mentioned by Slaga right here. And then the Ziggs band right here. And thank goodness the Leona. Are they watching stream? They're probably watching stream, but thank you if you picked this because I love it. While Thresh can play the Leona away, it just gives you some really nice engage and the 2v2 onto any of the squishy members, which everyone right now is squishy on the side of LTN.
The worst thing about bot lane right now is Leona. Leona's damage is ridiculous. The tankiness is ridiculous. And then you top Leona's W, which gives her bonus resistances on top of the fact that you get Aftershock procs as soon as you go in with your E because it stuns. all of a sudden you have a giant tank that does a billion damage on top of you, and that's going to be a big problem for an immobile character. Ash, however, Thresh does kind of put a little band-aid over it with the lantern.
Yeah, and Nunu and Willop going in with the Darius being taken in the top lane. Darius is actually one of the best counters for the Mordekaiser. He's like, you're not stuck in here with me. That can't be right. That Janna. It's Oriana. Okay.
Janna.
Jana, Jana. I have to
Yeah.
unmute just to say Jana.
So it's who's using a Millennium item and taking people to the Shadow Realm? It all makes sense now. It's Super Hoagie Ring. I have the Millennium Rod. Slaga has the Millennium Puzzle. We're looking
Nice.
for the Millennium Eye. So anyone.
Anyone got that Millennium Eye?
Yeah. Just
It's Millennium now.
Just restart. Hello?
Hello? Hello? Mom? Chat? Can you hear? Chat, come home. Chat? Chat.
Oh, wait, we're on. Wait, are we?
Hello? Hello? Mom? Chat? Hello? Can you hear? Chat, come home. Chat?
Oh, they said there we go. All right, we back. Good job, everybody. We did it, Reddit.
Ugh, easy troubleshoot of our lives.
It's only a troubleshoot if you thought you were in trouble. I'm in danger. Okay, so again,
I don't think anyone heard our discussion about the team comps. So
yeah, I don't think anyone heard discussion about team comms or my paralysis ghost. So we're just gonna
move past that
Move
one and
past
actually
that
just
one.
talk about the team comp.
beep boop. Is this audio on? Oh crap! Yeah.
All right. So
You went to the Shadow Realm without us?
we did, in fact, go to the Shadow Realm without you. I am so sorry.
Grant and I, he said he's been longing for my Millennium Rod, and so.
Well, okay. All right. Easy there, pal. Let's just take a step back.
Fudgy was also
All
there.
right.
It was great.
So, talking about the team comps, we have pretty much similar team comps that want to do the same thing. They want to fight, but I think they want to do it in a little bit different ways because LTN still has kind of like taken what Season 10 had last game, and they're kind of going for picks, but they have a similar way of doing it where they want to do where they want to land one ability and then just all of a sudden deal damage on that one target and then take that fight from there. And then on the side of Season 10 now, they have more of a team fighting comp. It's kind of like they took the same idea from each other. Like, man, that's a really good idea. It's like that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other.
Yeah, but they were really just pointing at themselves.
Yeah, but they were pointing at themselves. So, man, maybe it's the friendship we made along the way. Or the fact that the Wombo combo on the side of Season 10 is going to probably, if you can land that onto that very immobile Ash, you're going to wipe her off the face of this planet and the Rift and my computer screen forever.
Yeah, I do
F's
think
in the chat.
I do think it's going to be interesting. Overall, the better team fight, I still think, goes over to the side of Season 10. You get that Oriana shockwave into the Misfortune bullet time, and all that's going to be, the only person who may not die to that is whoever is dancing in the Shadow Realm with Mordekaiser. That's a really easy wombo to try to set up. The only problem is just, as you said before, execution, and especially that ball placement from Mudkips. But for the side of LTN, they got a lot of pick. If anyone steps a little bit too far forward or out of position, Thresh Hook, Nunu Snowball, Ari Charm, Ash Arrow, going to be really good. And Darius, if he's in these team fights, can pop off for what is, basically, a really low mobility comp coming out from the side. So to let us know in chat who you think's going to win, LTN win or a S10 at 2-0. As again, this is the David versus Goliath matchup. So if LTN could pull off the 1-1, that would probably be more than we're probably initially thinking, as they are currently at the bottom of the table. Literally, Nate with the electrocute on Ari. Typical everywhere else on both Warwick and Misfortune. Probably would have liked to see the Conqueror on the Warwick, but that's okay. Oriana actually
Hold on. All right, chat. I can't do this. I can't stay with hashtag LTN win and hashtag S10. Let us know in the chat if you want hashtag Shadow Realm to win or hashtag please no Shadow Realm to win.
Why is it the hashtag so incredibly long?
Because it makes it so incredible. All right, I'm paused at 10.
Yep, I'm good. We are We're ready to go. We got to move these people around. Lots of pings coming out. It looks like there's probably going to be an invade. Once again, coming up the side of S10.
Man, that typical 5-stack. Let's go. Fan
Yeah.
out, boys. We gonna do it.
So
All
we
right,
got
and just for the
Shadow Realm, and from
hashtag Shadow Realm. Yeah.
and then
All right.
from Gurg7, hashtag Grant is a sexy fucking beast win.
Why can you say? Why would you say that on stream? Why would you say that? But
I
anyway.
don't know. I'm just reading chat. Please, no BM, not BM. Sorry, we'll stop. As Warwick, hey bud, you need your jungle item to hit level 2 off your camp. I hope you realize that.
No.
Can I play the sick riffs? It's fine. Blame Dylan or Tenzi. Everyone.
I've never
give me
heard
a
of Dylan or
hash-
Tenzi, but they sound like a
Awful.
great person.
If you agree
Love
with Neil the Steel that we
friends
should
with that
blame Dylan or Tenzi, put hashtag ban lolly hentai in chat. Up, and Neil the Steel has just realized he does not have a jungle item.
and
Gotta
all of
pick
a
up the
sudden,
machete now.
all of a sudden, there is an advantage on the blue side for some unknown reason in pacing for the Nunu.
Yeah, but so the Nunu gonna hit level 2 first. As Mordekaiser gonna pick up 2 of those right there. It's a little bit trading going on, but they don't know where the Wick started. They are gonna assume bottom side, most likely, because the bot lane did not show.
Yeah, it's a nice little. Let's just cover this up really quick. And they made sure not to show until they normally would show if they were actually leashing. So they think it's just a normal, like, superpower farming Warwick right now. But in reality, they don't know. They just got pranked.
Yep, getting pranked early is literally Kamish takes half of his health bar from just Juiced by Daddy being Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is one of those champions that, I think what's nice about all these reworked champions is that they have a place in the meta, but it makes all the ones that came after them feel so bad. Like,
yeah.
There's not many champions that that have not been reworked where you're like, yeah, this champion's great, or a new champion where you're like, yeah, this is not overtuned. Aphelios is balanced. Akali's balanced.
Yeah, I
Mordekaiser's
don't think I've
totally
ever
fine.
heard someone say Trundle is balanced.
Yeah, because he's weak.
What? No, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Are you serious?
Literally, Kamish,
Oh, wow.
Juiced by Daddy, who's going to be doing a lot of damage, has to flash out, but does get that damage down as literally Mike is very slow, but Juiced by Daddy getting taken down by literally Kamish. I don't think he had his W or he used it for the shield. That's right.
Nice hook from literally Garrett.
Yeah, a little trade going back as the flash from Created Penguin has to go. As literally Kamish is going to try to take it to Juiced by Daddy right here, who's going to try to do this. He's fighting in the minion wave, and he misses the Mace of Spades, but he just dies again, burns his flash, and already burned TP. This is huge for the side of LTN, as Juiced by Daddy TP's backs in, fights in a really bad spot, as you should never fight in the minion wave, especially one as large as that. And literally Kamish, unfortunately, does not push the wave. Okay, he's going to decide to push the wave now. It's going to be a little bit late. He won't get his back off, probably.
Yeah, a little bit of... I mean, it wasn't a bad idea to try and go for the Darius. The Darius had just killed you. It's kind of that... Okay, well, he's starting at half HP and I'm starting at full HP. It's clear that I have some sort of advantage here. But with Darius, the inherent lifesteal that he just gets from that fighting and skirmishes, especially with that mighty axe swing. If he gets you on the outside and then he dodges your slam of the axe on the Mordekaiser, you're not going to heal enough or deal enough damage to take him out.
Also, incredibly intelligent buy from literally Kamish coming out here. The Executioner's calling first item, so that any of the healing that Mordekaiser's going to want to do, he can't do. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser picks up boots.
Yeah, it's also a great buy because you're not just dealing with the Mordekaiser with that, you're dealing with the Warwick that's going to just passively heal as well in the team fights.
Yeah, I definitely think both sides could use some potential, de-healing.
Grievous wounds.
Yeah, grievous wounds indeed. Um, as the hawk shot went across the map right now, and in the bottom lane, it's a more respectable CS discrepancy. As last game it was nearing 20 to 30, I think, in the laning phase, but not playing against the Aphelios right here. And in the top lane, it's 10. And in the jungle, even though Neil the Steel did not get a leash and started a little bit later, he's actually 4 camps ahead, I believe. As literally Kamish has hit level 6, juiced by Daddy, is going to try to run away. Can't at this moment, but here comes Neil the Steel. Gonna try to get that off.
This is a 1v2.
The dunk, literally Kamish, literally killing everybody as juiced by Daddy. It is not long for this world. And the ult comes out. He's not going to kill him, but he gets a double kill right here, and Darius is on a rampage.
He is out of control at this point. And now it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to send your bot lane up to try and match him? Or are you just going to try and stop the bleeding? You need to do exactly what blue team was doing right there, except you need to be red team. If you're having that situation happen in the top lane where you're losing that heavily, abandon ship, get out of there, and move your focus to the bottom side in the middle of the map when you can start taking control of that area, and then you can try and outpower the Darius later in the game. But right now it's just not going to happen for it, so you just got to stem the bleeding.
Yeah, this is what happened last game. Blue team having the laning prowess and advantage right there, but then we were waiting for this, team with the better team fighting comp. But if you never get online, if you're gonna be down 1.5k right here, and then be pressing up without having your ultimates up when the Darius is massive right now. He's level 7 to level 5 currently, so it's gonna be really tough.
It's looking a little dire too, because the Darius, even though I was just talking about getting away from that Darius and trying to focus up, Darius currently has a TP advantage over the Mordekaiser, so that's just giving him insane amount of map pressure right now, along with the fact that he is able to
throwing the lantern ahead of himself.
Dude, it's for distance. I get it. I see what you're doing. It's a high level Thresh strat. You wouldn't understand.
But we don't know any Thresh players.
Okay, I play Thresh, alright? You caught me.
Oh. Got him.
You throw it in front of you, and then your Mobies just take effect, and you get like 20 times the distance that you normally. Amateur, honestly. Alright. But anyway, I like what the blue team is doing right now. If you look down over by Dragon, you're seeing a line of pink wards. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that line. If you move them into the river a little more, you'll get more coverage of what you want to do, and you want to take control of that bot lane, because your top lane is set. You can start focusing on other parts of the map and getting over there. So that Nunu should just be pitching up a tent in bot lane and understanding that as soon as that Leona and Misfortune walk up, you just come in with your bullet and knock them down like some pins.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Also, good to note that Orianna did take, as juiced by Daddy. Just gonna be juiced by Daddy, more like juiced by Kamish, because he's taken some juicing after this. He's just doing everything he possibly can, as Revens is looking for the ultimate onto someone at all. Nope, he's just walking around all scary like. Meanwhile,
Oh God,
back
my
at the Hall of
advanced timers weren't on.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Said meanwhile back at the Hall of Justice. It's an old meme. It checks out.
All right,
As they're
checks
engaged on the literally Garrett comes out. He's gonna get stunned. Burns the flash right there. Flash from Neil the Steel as the ultimate comes up, but he gets flayed away, and Neil the Steel is caught between a snowball and a rock right now as a
nice snowball.
Right there, but the stun comes out, and then the bullet time comes out, burns the flash right there. Freedom Penguin goes out there. Mudkip still has Shockwave available. Huge minion wave right there, and actually getting the first kill on the board as literally Mike does go down as they're going a little bit too far right there. A nice turn from the side of Freedom Penguin and the rest of Season 10.
that's the start. You have to start step by step. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So right now, you just gotta take what you can get right now.
As the Revenants is going to pick out there, the hook does land, but that's not going to mean anything. Level 5 right there, as they're going to continue to die right here, and Mudkips picks up the kill as Neil the Steel is going to get out right there, only just taking 2 tower shots. So literally Nate kind of going a little bit too far, thought he could catch Freedom Penguin, who was backing on that ward right there, but not able to stop him, and then 2 people die for it, and Mudkips is now sitting at 1-0 and 2, as Juiced by Daddy is literally just trying to not die to Kamish again.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what S10 needs to get into this game. If you're setting up plays bot lane that control the dragons, once you control your dragons, you can control the souls, and then souls win games.
Ultimate
They're
right
very strong.
there, as literally Mike is not even level 6 currently, and he's on a date with death right now, as giving the kill over to Juice by Daddy, which is really nice for him. And they again, Season 10, knowing exactly when they're starting up this Herald. I think it's because they were doing it on Vision twice, both this game and last game. And Neil the Steel being able to pick it up each time. Something LTN needs better coordination with their jungler, or just knowing when and when they can't go for these neutral objective plays, especially when with Vision granted.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it was necessarily a bad. Oh wait.
Really, Garrett going in, takes the hook, gonna get taken down by Freedom Penguin, as it's just gonna be him, as Revens is trying to back off literally Stewart right there, and the Mordekaiser is down here in the bot lane because he says, I don't want to be in top lane anymore. The commissioner is bullying me. Can I please get an ad?
Can we report to mods?
Yeah, report to mods, please. As Vision's being set up right here, and they're starting this Cloud Drake right here. It's going to be going down fairly fast. Nunu still not level 6. Again, Neil is still just having better farming, it seems. You know, he's up by 10 right here, and now the map turns to the mountain. The mountains will rise, and actually, that's going to be pretty nice if we start to see the soul for that, if it does get to that later part of the game. For either side that gets it, because with their 2 bruisers in the jungle and the top, right, but so with that being said, 5-5 in kills, 1-0 in towers, as literally Kamish is over 3,000 gold ahead of his counterpart in Mordekaiser right now.
I think a lot of the pressure that you can get from the Darius is gonna be just how many. Oh, another fight.
What a nice Zenith Blade. Gonna land the Solar Flare, but there's no follow-up damage that can be had. So Neil the Steel burns his ultimate, Reverence burns his ultimate. Nice play by literally Garrett. We just get a heal out of literally Stewart.
So the dragon, the Mountain Drake and the Mountain Soul are going to be very important for these team fights, because depending on which team gets them, it can solidify it in either direction. As you're trying to survive these Darius ultimates, that big shield is going to be able to help pad your health a little bit, especially for Freedom Penguin, who's trying to stay alive in these fights. And along with the other side of LTN, they're trying to just lock this one down. With a Darius this strong, you should be able to position him around the map, get towers, and create objective control for yourself.
Revens does go in, lands the Zenith Blade. They've tried to match the Ashe against this Mordekaiser here in this top lane now, who has completed the Runan's first rush. Interesting rush right there from literally Stewart. The Infinity Edge completed for Misfortune. Good thing to note though, not only does Misfortune have that gold lead in terms of CS, but got some of those plates right there, right before plates ended. Neil the Steel breaking those and getting, I think, 3 plates over to split between all 3, him, Leona, and Misfortune.
One thing I really want to point out is on the side of LTN, they have 4 people with pink wards, or control wards, as they're called, in their inventories. And I'm just waiting to see how they're going to place them. Which side of the map are you going to start to prioritize now? We have...
And Mordekaiser is going to start fighting literally Garrett, as there's so much damage going down right here, and the Darius is trying to take down Freedom Penguin. Freedom Penguin does have flash available. He does gonna get it, and the shutdown goes there, so top laners getting 3v1 on both sides of the map with both of the top laners going down, but it's definitely a huge win for the side of Season 10 I Hardly Know Her, because not only are they going to get some damage down onto this tower right here and probably take it, but the shutdown goal going over to their jungler, who is already massively ahead of his counterpart.
Yeah, I mean, just play to your win condition. If you're going to dogpile up onto people, you want to suppress that, suppress both top laners. If you're trying to win, you're going to keep that top laner on both sides down. You want to get the shutdown on the commish, and then you want to win even harder on the Mordekaiser, so you can just smash that lane through and just break through to get to that next level of turrets.
I do agree. What we do need to see now, though, is some item completions coming out here. Mordekaiser has finally completed that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Looks like it's going to be a Blade of the Ruin King coming out for Ashe. Mudkip's in the mid lane has almost enough for his Lutens, and we're going to be setting up for this dragon fight here within the next minute. So it's going to be interesting to see how this happens, and the Zeke's Convergence being completed by Revence. As you know, I think the only thing that's tough, but it's kind of good that it is the Nunu is literally Mike is 2 levels down, not only on the jungler, but just everybody on the side of Season 10 I Hardly Know Her. He's the lowest level in the game, tied with his support Thresh right now, but Nunu does have that Consume, so that's really nice. It can make up for the level difference right now, as it seems that Season 10 I Hardly Know Her is trying to set up around this dragon, but literal team name has mid lane priority, as Mordekaiser is in the top lane, but he does have TP.
So this is something I was really excited that they were moving in as a team to clear out vision around the dragon. But the thing that I'm not super excited about is that they sent all 5 to get that turret. When you need, when you're setting up vision, you can send like 2 people to get that tower and then just control this part of the map. Because right now they know you're not on dragon. They see you, they have control of the scuttle. They have some wards that were left behind. It just wasn't swept perfectly clear. And now they have the inside track on the dragon, and then
Juice by Daddy did come down right there. Looks like the call is to give up the dragon and push mid lane. I don't know if you have enough pushing power or enough minions to do anything here. This looks like it's going to be one of those calls from last game where one team is trying to catch the other one out for pushing mid lane. They do get it right there, and the bullet time across 4 right there. Massive catch out is literally Kamish dies right there. You get pays for the sin of giving up right there, and now we're at an even gold lead. That's unfortunate.
Season 10 has had a really, really good control of how to get back into this game. They've sent the Mordekaiser away from this. Like, all of a sudden, your Mordekaiser is 0-4. What do? You can either break under the pressure and just allow that solo kill to keep happening, you can tilt, or you can get him out of there. Just get him completely away from the situation and force them to come to you, because you're winning everywhere else.
On the Mordekaiser, who's going to go down. The Shockwave does land with the Dissonance landing, but it's only to dissuade the rest of the team from fighting. So while they do pick up the second Rift Herald spawn, they got mid lane tower and a kill from it. So kill for kill trade, but 2 neutral objectives going to the side of Season 10, who are just only down 600 gold currently.
Yeah, the thing that I still am praising literally Kamish for is that he's kept about 2.5 to 3k gold on the top laner still, and he's kept that gold up. He's not stopping and he's just going to try and carry this game by himself. He needs to split and get away from his team, because if he can stay alone for a little while and they can stay safe and make picks.
Gets caught out by a charm right there, and is going to go down to literally Mike.
Like that one. This is going to be a pick and a tower.
I don't know if they'll be. Oh, the Ashe arrow does miss wide, but a flash comes out from Juice by Daddy, who takes literally Kamish right there. The bullet time jumps out with a nice charm from literally Nate right there, as there's no more damage coming out. Literally Stewart kiting away flash from Mudkips right there. to try to give him a little bit more agency, but that's going to be nothing for the side of Season 10 I Hardly Know Her, who opted to fight when they were, equal in manpower, but it seemed like a little bit of an overstep right there, as literally Nate actually carrying those past two fights with the charms onto the Warwick for the first kill, and the ult charm to stop the bullet time from coming across the entire team.
Yeah, and to clarify on my last point, I wasn't talking about a mid lane turret. I was talking about the bot lane turret, where they were letting the Darius just split push. You make a pick, you sort of relieve that pressure on your mid lane, you push the wave up, and then you just back off and you let Darius do his thing. You guys stay equal with him. Because he can 1v1 pretty much anyone on that team. But if as soon as there's a man advantage, you pull the trigger and you try and get a pick into mid lane or wherever Darius is, and you just make the best of the situation that you have.
Yep, as it looks like there is a hook that lands. 3-man play right there, as there's going to be a bunch of stuff happening right there, as Revens looks like he's going to be caught out and does get dunked by the commissioner right there. I don't know if that's legal by bylaws, but it did happen. Literally Nate just looking for some charms right now, as now we're just trading back and forth with kills at this moment, and it looks like they're going to start up a really early Baron right here. Neil the Steel is recalling right there, and right now he is going to finish. No, he won't finish his recall. He knows that they're still on the Baron. This is so interesting to try to do this. It's still a level disadvantage, but literally Mike can just smite this right here, and the Orianna Shockwave is up. They're taking so much damage. They peeled off. They need to decide one way or the other if they're going to do this. This looks really bad for the side of Literal Team They now if they fully commit to this. Mudkips is on a ward though, so they do see him. The Ash Arrow does come out. It does find Neil the Steel. Oh, the hook just slow. Literally Mike not going to take the snowball all the way, as they're going to clear the vision, but the Baron is still aggro. Nice flash from Neil the Steel to try to get away right there, as it's just going to be juiced by Daddy, who dies as Freedom Penguin nearly died to Baron.
Yeah, I think they tried to do a little cheeky play there, where they tried to force them to chase, or where they were trying to just see if they were going to chase Juice by Daddy and Neil the Steel away from the Baron, and then those three take it. But they found out very quickly that is not the case. You do not just
I
take Baron
think
with
what
this
actually happens, they didn't wait for Baron to de-aggro, and then they vision and just clear the vision while it was still aggroing them. As now the second Mountain Drake is going to spawn, and all the ultimates are up on the side of Season 10 I Hardly Know Her, and the only ultimate that is still down currently is the Ash Arrow, as the Thresh Box has just come back up, and it looks like Juice by Daddy's teleport isn't up just quite yet, but Mudkip's on about half health right there, as Leona looks like she's caught out once again. Repeat of what happened on the other side of them. Fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice. I'm caught out and back at base. It looks like since they came with 5 and the TP from the Mordekaiser.
It's
Okay, Warwick looking to ult. He does ult on.
They're opting into the 4v5.
Yep, no bullet time gonna happen there. This is an interesting play by Season 10, as Mudkips is running away for dear life, and it is a 2-for-4 extended trade, now with a 3.3 thousand gold lead for the side of Literal Team Nate.
Yeah, I'm not sure I necessarily agree with trying to engage on the 4v5, because you're taking, once you've lost the dragon already, taking the fight is like, what are you fighting? That's what I always try and ask myself when we're trying to move from objectives or take a fight. It's like, what are we going to fight for? Are we going to take these just for kills? Are we taking this for vision? Are we taking this fight for Baron or dragon?
Yeah, and I think as we've seen with most of the teams in the gold division, everything is for kills and to just try to have numbers advantages later. But after the Drake spawn, they didn't. I think the other thing to think about is they didn't really burn anything ult wise to Ona. So you are down part of your engage, And then Mordekaiser, I don't know whom or if he even ulted right there in the last one, as there is a bunch of wards for Little Kamish to clear out right there.
Yeah, I mean, right now Season 10 has all of their ults back up, so this could be a small window to try and take, but the ults are coming back up for LTN right now. I think you just need to slow it down, try and find your footing.
Little Kamish,
That was a great call.
right there, but a bullet time across both of them right there as a Orianna Shockwave takes down Nunu right there, but literally Nate on the backline doing as much damage as he can, and Darius is doing Darius things. He gets a double kill. Literally Nate gonna do everything he can. They're gonna try to take the, it should be, you know, there's no Blade of the Rune King done yet, but a Cutlass is done, and literally Nate, hey, take that lantern, take the lantern.
Take the lantern. Yeah, that is
the lid.
the lid turn. The lid turn. Yeah, I think that was just, again, everyone is forcing situations that you don't need to be in. You need to just take it slow. Calm, like, clear your comms, get your vision, move in as a unit, and understand how your team fight will. When your team fight is to the start, the Leona ulting, and then you follow up with Leona going in with the ball on her, and it's like, this is the perfect world. I can't say that this is going to happen every time. So
Yeah, Leona
just try and do it as well as you can.
today, by the way, at 26 minutes, so wasn't able to finish that. I do also think that this is the first Baron of the series, so that's something to note. We didn't have a Baron in our last game, and now with the Baron and the massive Darius that is 11-2-2, can just split push and be answered, you know, by almost nobody. Gonna have to send at least 2, if not 3, to try to take this guy down. Only problem is that Darius loves more people.
Yeah, it just depends on which combination you're going to send if you can match him. I think right now they're in such a good spot. They need to be pushing the waves simultaneously, though, because right now Darius is going to crash a wave, and then later, if they're sending all 5 to match Darius, then you're crashing your mid wave. So they're actually losing CS this way, because they're not going to capitalize on both the waves. It's going to capitalize on one, and then they're opting into the 1-4 situation, which I think is correct. Your Darius is strong, just stay grouped together and try not to die.
Yep, and no grievous wounds yet for the side of Season 10. I hardly know her. While we already mentioned the Morello Namicon also now finished the Ari as well as the Executioner calling still right there, as it's going to be 3 in the mid lane versus 4 and 2 versus 1 in the top lane. And that's just the unfortunateness of it, what it is right now, as Juice by Daddy is going to ult the Thresh, but Thresh takes him down, and Warwick does get a kill with Orianna right there. Juice, words.
Darius does not care.
Darius is gonna try to just kill everybody here, because this looks like it's gonna be a game. We're gonna have the ult back up. Neil is still doing as much as he can, but I don't believe, yeah, Freedom Penguin was not able to get a bullet time off because they just dogpiled on top of him, and then he was not long for this world. I think this should be game right here.
Yeah, it's looking like it right now. The first Grievous Wounds item has come in at just a little bit too late from Mudkips. So we can see if they can hold here.
Really, really short right there. Doesn't hit anybody, but Mordekaiser doing as much as he can with Misfortune trying to do as much as well, but is just not the ADC who's going to provide the consistent damage. The Shockwave is back up, but can they do anything about it? Kill the Darius! And they do right there.
Raid boss down.
Raid boss is down. Literally, Garrett also going to go down, so Freedom Penguin picks up some kills right there. Looks like they're going to live to see another day, but it's not going to be a day that they're going to enjoy, as they do not have any more Nexus towers.
Alright, Menbone, here we go. How does Season 10 come back from this?
No offense, I don't know if they can because they're going to have to stall until the inhibitor goes down. That means they can give over at least one more Drake, and then the Baron will have spawned by them as well.
Nah, honest. You need to fight till the very end. All right, boys. Pick up your pens. Here we go. Write it down. Never give up. We have to understand that you are not a quitter. You need to just scale. Just do it. Freedom Penguin, this is on you, man. Mudkips, this is on you. Get that perfect shockwave. Leona, Revenants, my man, just do it. You need to understand. Got this. Just do it. Yeah, it's that easy, right?
Yeah, just do it. They need to adopt Nike's standard is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Get some Grievous Wounds. It's an 800 gold item for Misfortune. If you can do that and apply across the whole team fight, that can help you out. If you can get a nice Orianna Shockwave on top of it as well, this would be really good. You just have to make sure you know where Darius and Ari are at all times during these fights. Because, you know, don't fight around this one. Let this one fall. Fight around this inhibitor. Look for a, engage with Warwick with the ball on him or something like. It's going to be really, really tough, especially now with Darius having Guardian Angel. But if he can get him, well, this is probably the pick that they're looking for. It's just Leona's going to be super low right now as Neil the Steel does go down, and the hook does land a huge forward time. He's going to take out literally Garrett. A huge shockwave and hits 2 right there, but the rest of the team just can't do any more damage. Everything's been used. Juiced by Daddy is in the Shadow Realm, but he doesn't want to be, and he has to flash out right there as they can look to just go mid, but look, they're just going to take down the turret right here as literally Stewart does pick up his first 2 kills of the game. Was sitting at 0016, I believe, at one point, or 0014. And now just kind of casually walk in the minions and start hitting the Nexus right there, as literally Stewart does. Literally Nate very, very low. Going to try to back off at this point. The death timers are fairly low still, and Baron will be spawning. So playing it as safe as possible right here. But they want to play the top lane turret.
They want to play some real standard League of Legends. They're going for that 100% playthrough victory. They're going to take that top inhibitor, and then they're going to march it down to the Nexus and let the super minions take care of it all. I am a fan, and I commend.
Yeah, so it's, you can just send all top. They have the only way I think that Season 10 can come back in, and I don't know if they're going to be able to, but literally Nate going to try to catch out Mudkips right here, who doesn't have the charm up, and that's going to just be a dead Mudkips right here. I just think you walk it down. You don't need Baron right now. You have super minions. You're okay. You can go to Baron. That's
Baron. All right. See, there we go.
Is, Neil needs to steal this.
It's in his name. He's got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's done it with Rift Heralds. Can he do it with this right here? Oh, early. All right, well, Thresh gonna go down. Neil the Stew to Nunu. And I think that's gonna be game. Mudkips will be back up, but they have everything that they need. They have Baron. They have 1 lane of super minions, 2 exposed inhibitors, and an exposed Nexus. They could just walk in here and just start fighting.
Yeah, I never doubted either team. I believe you both had it, and it's a well thought game. I'm actually, you know what? I can't even say anything yet. The game's not over. This is it. This is where Season 10 makes
Today I learned that Slogga likes to count his dairy bear's eggs before they hatch.
Oh God! Don't say.
And Neil the Steel is back up, but
yes, 100%.
Juiced by Daddy just gets chunked out from one combo. Has very low magic resist. Freedom Penguin gonna try to do the best he can, and they're just gonna attack the base right there, and it's over.
And that's the game. All right, I know this is burning on everyone's mind, but who could possibly the MVP for game 2?
It's probably going to be literally Kamish because he was 2 levels over his laner and has 14 kills, 20 kill participation out of 29, which I think is actually fairly similar to what Neil Steele had last game. So interesting enough. And then, yeah, he just kind of carried the game. He had one overstep, I think, in that bot lane where he got a little bit too far forward, and then it was a 3v1. But if it's not him, I think it's literally Nate, though literally Garrett did have some very well placed hooks and plays to try to help this. But my vote would go to literally Kamish.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Literally, Kamish just took the game on his back and helped his team get through that early game where they were getting a little shaky start. But all of a sudden, they turn it on to full blast, and then all of a sudden, you've got yourself a nice looking team right there. Well played by both teams. A nice 1-1. And this should be a strong victory for LTN because they took down, as you were saying earlier, Menbung, Goliath.
Yeah, I mean the previously undefeated season 10 now going to have a tie in the match scores and then a one loss, and it's going to come at the hands of LTN, who did show a lot of promise here. Looking at the damage charts, Ash didn't really do much in terms of KDA, but you look at the damage, 21,000, which is only 1,000 damage less than the Misfortune. The Darius at 22,000, barely edging out the Misfortune, and then literally Nate topping the damage charts with that Ari right there. So game 1 MVP did go over to Neil the Steel. Just wanted to mention that. We didn't bring that up. And right now, we will leave the polls open for 2 more minutes. So that's going to be 12:07 Eastern time for all of you out there. So 2 more minutes. Really good games played by both of them. I think for both sides, there's some stuff that they can work on. I think the early jungle pathing from the side of LTN and working in coordination with their jungler to not get neutral objectives stolen away and not for him to be in such a deficit by levels early. He did end the game a level above Neil of Steel. So that is some improvement, but the early levels need to be worked on. And on the side of season 10, I hardly know her. I think, the solo lanes were fine here. We did talk about how their bottom is kind of their win condition with Freedom Penguin there. Mudkips played pretty solid games, both games. I just don't think Oriana is a super strong pick right now, so it just comes on a little bit later.
I don't necessarily think that Oriana is ever a bad pick. I think you pick Oriana into a role filling position, so like it was a good pick for the Leona.
I don't. It's nothing against Mudkips. It's just the way that I view Oriana right now. But I will say that some professional players over in the LPL have been picking the Leona, have been running Summoner Spellbook on Oriana. Excuse me, I misspoke, and also have been rushing the Hextech GLP for the Oriana. So that's just little interesting there. So yeah, just really interesting to see how that goes. And we have just looking now that literally Kamish has won the MVP. So if we can get both captains and both MVP winners into the player of the games chat, we'll wrap this thing up. We're going to go to player of the game 2. And we are waiting for Neil the Steel, literally Kamish, Mudkips, I believe, and literally Nate. So
Woo! Yeah, he does. He does have work in.
Okay, so congratulations to both teams for the 1-1. Initial thoughts. Let's start with Mudkip, since you're the only captain present here.
Yeah, I think we did really well game 1, dealing with something like a Nocturne mid. Really practiced around that. Luckily, I've laned against it, so I kind of knew what was going to happen and how to deal with it. Looking at game 2, I think it's a good thing that we lost there. Obviously, being 5-0 or potentially being 6-0 is really great, but we haven't played from behind until then. and it really gives us something that we can work on in practice instead of saying, okay, we're going to stomp another team, or we're going to do this. So that way it gives us a little bit more to work towards and just something overall to practice and some new experiences.
So
All right.
looking forward with that, when you're talking about moving forward with your practice, is there anything like a little sneak peek that you can tell us of what you might look to improve on, just a little bit?
Specifically like positioning when we're behind. We were still positioning really aggressively. Even when behind, and we couldn't afford for that to happen because there were several times like Leona got picked early, and then even though I would hit a good Orianna ult into the MF ult, the MF would just die because you'd have Thresh flashing into the backline on her, or you'd have Ari ulting into the backline and taking her out. And if that Leona was alive, she could stand back there and protect her. So it's just something we have to be aware of specifically, is that positioning.
Yeah. No, yeah, great. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do agree. So now to the MVPs. Neil, when you saw the Sejuani lock-in and you saw your Kane was still up, what was going through your mind? Because I know that's a fairly confident matchup for you, and you did try to do that early invade, but then both games, this one and the one that you won MVP in game one, you were able to steal the heralds away from the side of LTN, and you had an early level lead of 2 to 3 levels against the enemy jungler. Do you feel like you're really hitting your stride right now in the jungle, or was it just a good day for you?
No, I feel like I'm really, like you said, hitting a stride. Week one, I think the first game I played this season as Warwick, I think I popped off with 19 or 20 kills, and um, I felt pretty confident every game, and a few missed steal attempts, but yeah, today with the rifts, I mean, game two was easy. You have Mord coming down, and hey, I'm gonna ult the Nunu, and it's like, okay, well, no smite contest, that makes an easy steal, but the game one steal on the Rift Herald felt like a pretty solid play, and yeah, no, when I saw the Kane open, I honestly, I just saw blood, and I'm spamming first pick me Kane. But no, it felt good, and feeling good in the jungle right now. So
Yeah,
feels like a
and
jungle meta. So
speaking of seeing blood, the bleeding was happening in top lane, done by literally Kamish. Literally Kamish, um, I still hear that you're still slaying and dunking people right now. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to respond to that, but
I
yeah,
think I still hear the echoes of screams.
I can still hear the echoes of that God King Darius ultimate going off and him
Oh
chasing.
yeah, it has to be God King Darius.
Yeah, so just from game 1 to 2, though, a little bit different. You did perform fairly well on the Akali, but just kind of, since you're the only member, actually, before I get to your MVP performance, that call to just press R and then it ended the game at the near the inhibs for y'all in game 1. What was going through your minds right there? Y'all traded tier 1 top tower for an inhib tower, and then we're gonna try to flank them. Just let me know about the thought process right there, and who made that call, or what the call was.
I mean, it was generally a received call through the team. We were thoroughly behind at that point, and it was just kind of one of those desperate calls. Just putting it out there. I mean, it was a very desperate call to make. Looking back on it, whether or not it was the right call or not, I think it's still the wrong call. But it is what it is. It was what it was. It was what it was. We have to follow the call. We had a relatively good engage. However, the Rumble ult just kind of took everything by storm. Like there's just a bunch of fights that entire game that was summed up by fighting on top of a Rumble ult and kind of just having a Sivir and having a lot of immobile champions that can't really get away from that, especially once you built the Leandri's allies. I mean, the writing was on the wall at that point, and that wipe kind of cemented that, the fact that, hey, we can't just hard engage whenever we're that behind. Like, although the Nocturne was feeling really good, and even on the Akali, like, I wasn't lacking in any sort of damage whatsoever, it just goes to show you like a team composition will beat out two champions that do like kind of similar things, but I mean the rest of the team just wasn't up to par. Like the Sivir was kind of behind at that point. Mike Nellis was nowhere near the damage output, because he's a Sejuani, so he's just really kind of there as a form of CC. So yeah, it was just like a very very the team composition really showed its flaws just in those couple of team fights so.
Yep. And then just real quick, getting to your MVP performance, how did it feel? Did you feel like you could was the call for you to group and use your power there, or did you feel like you probably could have? I know y'all ended up winning, so it doesn't matter. But did you feel like you should have split pushed more, or when you're that big, what does that make you? Like, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thought process as any other like top lane champion that's meta right now. Is that you are so big that you draw pressure away from other areas of the map. So I think that's kind of where we saw, which by the way, the enemy team played terrifically, but that's kind of the flaw, was that it's like, okay, we need to force them to give something up. Like they're playing loss reduction. Well, what are they willing to lose, and what can we maximize on that? And so a lot of scenarios, like there was one scenario where I had 4 people in the bottom lane, all coming at me. And what did we do? We set up the waves properly, and I think we actually ended up winning a team fight after that as well. So it's that kind of thought process. Should I have grouped a little bit more? Maybe, but I think we played it. I think we played it to our strengths. Also, feels really good playing an S tier champion. It's the first time I've done it all season, by the way.
Yeah, the S tiers are S tiers for a reason. Wouldn't you say, Slaga?
Yes.
S10
Yes.
champions are very fun. Can confirm.
Unless
Good
you're playing Leona and Nautilus, then we're not friends.
Yeah.
Unless your name is Joe, because Joe Biscuit Hat is my favorite.
And somewhere Jacob is crying even though he's just been married. So I think that's gonna be it from us. So from myself, Super Hoagie for streaming for us, Slaga for joining us as well as our play-by-play, and to both captains and MVPs. That's going to be it for tonight. Don't forget to send your stats, and we will be back here, I believe, tomorrow with some more Find Me Alpha LCS. Thank you so very much. Have a great night.